Hey you guys, Annette Dion again. It's later in the day. I felt incomplete. I was doing a video and it got cut short, so I had to do some things on my phone. This is all on my phone. So I fixed that and now I'm back. So I apologize for it cutting out a little bit earlier. It's later in the day. Got really warm, so I changed my shirt. I hope you had a good Monday, start of the week. Heading into kind of like a holiday weekend. Shoo, really fast, isn't it? So there are a few more questions that I wanted to address, just things that are going on, and I wanted to look into He Who Shall Not Be Named, what's going on there, what the guides have to say about what's going on there. Now we know that William Barr is starting to backtrack some of the things that he said in the past in terms of being on He Who Shall Not Be Named's side. And let's take a look at that and see what's going to happen to Bill Barr and whether he's going to go to jail. Because I think he's going to jail, and I think Giuliani's going to jail. And the other thing that I got a hit about was Jared Kushner. So let's ask first about Bill Barr. Oh, and I'm happy to say it's cooling down a little bit. The sun was beating down earlier, so... what a difference a few hours can make. Okay, this is about Bill Barr. This is... He's trying everything. He's like, oh my gosh, believe me, I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it. And he's lying. I'll never forget the day that he got up and lied about the Mueller report. And we had all been waiting, and oh my gosh, I was seething with rage. It was so infuriating. Yes, there's a lion behind bars. That would indicate that Bill Barr will be behind bars. I feel like it's going to be a short term, like what I would call like a slap on the wrist kind of a term, prison term, like 6 to 8 months, and then maybe some community service or something. But the fact of the matter is, these guys committing so many crimes have got to be called out, because if they're not called out, then we're going to look like a country that just lets criminals run amok all over America and destroys democracy. The Princess of Pentacles, this is indicating I see a female judge sending Bill Barr to jail. When? I feel like towards the fall, like the end of the year. These things take time, as we know. We get very impatient. Let's ask about Giuliani, who lost his license to practice law, rightfully so. His son, I think his name is Andrew, doing that video after that happened from a parking lot with 2 cars behind him and trees, and he was like way at the bottom of the screen. It was a little bit ridiculous. Kind of looked like a used car salesman. Let's see what's... I feel like his son, Giuliani's son, I feel like he's just as crazy as Rudy. And sadly, about Andrew, I feel like he doesn't have anything else. He doesn't have anything else to grab onto in his life, which is kind of sad. So he's going after this. He's going after, I think he wants to run against Andrew Cuomo for governor of New York, but I haven't looked at it yet, but I feel like Cuomo's gonna win again, because you know that whole thing about him making passes at women and everything paled in comparison to, you know, the last former guy in the White House's accusations of rape. He really did rape that woman. Trump, I mean. So, and back to Andrew. I feel like he has nothing else, you know, so he's just trying to defend his father and run for governor, and he's not going to get anywhere in his run for governor. So we're asking about Giuliani. Giuliani's going to have a lot of things coming at him that he's going to have to defend himself about. Giuliani's taking a woman down with him. Who would that be? Oh, it just popped into my head. That's Sydney, that lawyer, the Sydney Crowell or something was her last name, that stood up there with Rudy talking about Venezuela and saying Chavez had something to do with the election being rigged and the Dominion voting machines and all that. Yeah, that's Sydney. This looks like Giuliani. Lots of crimes, lots of charges. This feels like that other lawyer. She's so weird. And somebody's saying Cy Vance to me, so I know that that's more of a Trump thing. But I feel like that's connected to the Giuliani thing, and that Cy Vance is going to have something to do with throwing Giuliani in jail. Now it's interesting because I actually don't see Giuliani going to jail. I mean, if he does, not for any significant amount of time. So, Bill Barr, yes, is going to jail. Giuliani, I feel like that's going to be like back and forth. Is he, isn't he? Back and forth, is he, isn't he? And that's interesting. I'm going to pull a couple more cards because I'm wondering if he's going to have a health crisis, Giuliani. Maybe all the stress, you know, because I don't see him serving jail time, really. And I feel like something's going to throw a wrench in the works on that. Like, maybe a month. But really, nothing substantial. Yeah, I feel like it's health problems. I feel like Giuliani's going to have health problems. The guides just said, oh, sorry, my AC makes a lot of noise. The guides just said the health problems are connected to him needing to stop drinking. I don't know. I just tell it like I sees it. Tell it like I hears it. Yes, and his Giuliani's situation is going to come to a quick close in terms of his court case, and it's going to be a balancing act for him. I think it's going to be really, really stressful and tough, and he doesn't know where to turn. Which is kind of the case with all these criminals that were in the last administration, trying to hide everything badly. Now, I got a hit the other day, and it was really fascinating that Jared was going to be so angry at his father-in-law. They're not speaking. I feel like they're estranged. I feel like it's the grudge that won't stop grudging kind of thing. And Jared is building a case for calling out he who shall not be named. I don't like to say his name very much. He's got a pile, he's got a list of things that he's going to prosecute or accuse his father-in-law of, Kushner, I mean. He's going to accuse his father-in-law of all these things. He's going to out his father. He's going to throw him under the bus. Father-in-law, I mean. And remember, Jared Kushner's father was a criminal. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't really care. But let's see what's going to happen with the situation between Jared and his father-in-law. Ivanka's really trying hard to stay behind the scenes. Oh, yeah. Here's the catch. The Two of Swords indicates that there's sort of a catch here. Jared wants to out his father-in-law big time, hurt him as much as possible because he's really angry at him. I mean, physically hurt him, but get him, you know, prosecuted. But the Two of Swords is like a very indecisive card. Like, he doesn't know how far he wants to go with it because he could incriminate himself. So he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. But he will out him. The Ace of Pentacles is like, he's going to illuminate the situation, not out of caring about the public good, more as a way of saving himself. So it's going to make the picture, it's going to round out the picture and make it really clear. And this is signifying Ivanka. I feel like Ivanka is pressuring Jared to call out her father because she can't do it directly, so indirectly. So there's that. I don't want to make this video too long because I did one before. I'm just trying to think of what I didn't address that I wanted to address. I did touch on the heat wave. It's going to break in Seattle. It's not going to be terrible for too terribly long. They'll have a respite, and then there's going to be another. There are going to be like 5 major heat waves in this country. this summer. For the 3 months of summer. Well, I'm in the Northeast, so we get 3 months of summer. And I talked about the hurricanes, about 5 major hurricanes like we've never seen. I want to call them super canes, super hurricanes, super storms. Let me ask the guides what else they want us to talk about. Something about Joe Biden, what's going on right now with the infrastructure bill. It's passing. I get that it's passing. I get that it's going to be not even like 2 months. It's going to be before we see it happening. And the guides are showing me like all these people jumping on the bandwagon that want to be part of this. That's really hopeful. Hey, how about some hope? I don't give you enough of that. All right, so let's see. The infrastructure, it's going to pass. I see Joe Manchin smiling ear to ear, and because it makes him look good. I don't really trust the guy. But smiling, yeah, actually that makes sense, because it's going to be like, oh, yay, Joe Manchin, he was the deciding factor. Yeah, the death card. Ooh, interesting. This is going to put a nail in the coffin. I don't mean that like he's going to die, but of Mitch McConnell. That infrastructure bill passing finally, because it's what the people want. And, you know, a lot of those guys, it's their own self-interest. And if they want to be popular with the public, they have to help with the infrastructure bill. Puts a nail in the coffin of Mitch McConnell's, look at the Grim Reaper, of his history of just saying no to everything. So I really see him Mitch McConnell not knowing where to turn, what he's going to do next, because the people want the infrastructure bill. The Tower card, that's indicative of that we're gonna actually see some other things crumbling. I don't mean a horrific tower collapse. I see bridges crumbling. I don't see I do see some casualties, but it's not overwhelming. It's like, you know what? This is too big of a topic to really get into here, but some souls come and they, you know, the soul path is they end up being part of some disaster, and then that disaster ends up turning things around. Now, this isn't me speaking as much as the guides, and we can't understand this because we don't want people to die and have horrible things happen. I see a couple of bridges collapsing because the Tower card's coming up. And that's going to make such a strong case for the infrastructure bill that anybody that's against it is a fool and an idiot, and no one's going to listen to them anymore. I'm talking about politicians. The King of Cups, it's going to make Joe Biden more supported by America in general. And yeah, I actually feel like it's gonna I see like when the infrastructure bill passes, like Joe Biden like feels better, like feels more energized and feels healthier physically. So I think this has taken a ton out of him. I did mention before, and on Bridge Cape Ann, I did a video maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it was last Monday. That G7 summit trip, it took a lot out of Biden. It really did. I mean, it would take a lot out of anybody, let alone a 78-year-old. Look, I'm putting the cards away like I'm done. I think, let's just pick 3 cards about what to expect around the 4th of July. I did say the other day that it seemed like it might have been yesterday, that it seemed like a good day for America. I guess it was 2 days ago. Yeah, the sun, that's the happiest card in the deck. Hard to see. That's the happiest card in the deck, the sun card. So the 4th of July in general, you know, we can't speak for everybody. In general, it's going to be a good time, and that's got something to do with, you know, last year we're in the midst of COVID, no vaccines really. This year, in general, it's going to be a good day for America. We'll be mourning our losses, that's for sure. I see news programs about the people that we lost to COVID combined with the people that were lost in Florida. the Three of Cups, we're coming into some semblance of balance. It's the very beginning stages. It's, you know. But yeah, the 4th of July looks pretty decent for this country. And I know it might sound like I'm just being all Pollyanna and everything, but I'm foreseeing a time in the not too distant future where it's not like we come all together and, you know, we're all like peace and love. But enough people will be coming together like all peace and love, and we're going to feel like the big exhale, like, phew, at least we're on our way to some kind of semblance of a better place. So that's what I have for you today. It's Annette Dion. If you'd like to book a psychic tarot card reading, I've been doing readings for 28 years. I would love to have you. It's AnnetteDion7@gmail.com. Send me an email. Leave some comments. Only good ones. I guess I can't expect all good ones all the time, but I love your good comments, and thank you for joining. If you'd like to subscribe, I guess you hit the button and the bell, you'll get a notification. You know all that stuff. I don't have to tell you. All right, namaste. See you soon. Thanks for tuning in.